When you feel like life has dealt you a hand of unfair cards, instead of folding, you double down and you stuck in the game. You faced battles, you felt broken, but hey, do us a favor, put your hand on your heart. You feel that? You're still here. Welcome to the Resilience Files Unlocked, where survival meets transformation. Welcome back to the Resilience Files podcast. I'm your host, Carrie Bernunz, and I am so excited about our guest today. First off, she was working overnight with some ICU patients, and God bless her heart. We are so thankful to have such caring guests on here, but she has a phenomenal story that I feel like you need to hear today. And her story comes with, it's never too late to become. When society says your dreams expire, but your soul says it's time to begin, listen to it. Well, as we do here on the Resilience Files podcast, we like to read our guest essay. And I would love to introduce you to our guest today, Barbara Warren-Bloms. My life, becoming again and again. I have lived many lives in one lifetime. Some were chosen, some were necessary, and some waited patiently until I was brave enough to claim them. If there is one truth that runs through my story, it is this: I have never stopped becoming. I grew up knowing early that life would ask something of me. I learned responsibility young. I learned how to show up even when I was unsure, how to keep moving when the path ahead wasn't clear. Those early years shaped my work ethic, my resilience, and my belief that nothing meaningful comes without effort. I didn't always know where I was going, but I knew I was meant for more than standing still. I became a mother early, and with that came a fierce sense of purpose. Suddenly, my life wasn't just about my own dreams. It was about stability, survival, and setting an example. I worked hard, sometimes relentlessly, determined to prove to myself and the world that I was capable, dependable, and strong. I made a promise that I would never settle for less than what my children and I deserved. That promise became a driving force in everything I did. Nursing found me not by accident, but by alignment. It was the perfect marriage of discipline and compassion, science and humanity. Over the years, I grew into my role, not just as a nurse, but as a leader, a mentor, and a steady presence in moments when people felt most vulnerable. I have held hands in fear, celebrated recoveries, and stood quietly in rooms heavy with grief. I learned that true strength is often soft spoken and that showing up consistently is its own form of courage. As a charge nurse and a unit shift coordinator, I became someone others relied on. I took pride in becoming organized, calm under pressure, and deeply respectful of every patient and colleague. I saw potential in new nurses before they saw it in themselves. I believed in lifting others I climbed, I climbed, because healthcare is not just about skill, it is about humanity. Nursing did not just become my profession, it became part of my identity. But there was another side of me that never went away. Before the scrubs, before the credentials, there was creativity. There was an awareness of presence and expression of how people communicate beyond words. My work as a beautician and cosmetologist taught me on how transformation, both external and internal, can change the way someone sees themselves. Sitting across from clients, I listened to their stories. I learned how confidence can be restored with care, attention, and trust. Those moments reminded me that we are all performing roles, all hoping to be seen. Still, for many years, I told myself that certain dreams had an expiration date. Then, at 57, I decided to stop believing that. Starting acting lessons later in life was both terrifying and exhilarating. Walking to that first class, I was surrounded by people younger than me, but I carried something they didn't yet have: life experience. I have lived heartbreak, responsibility, joy, loss, success, and reinvention. I realized that every moment I have survived had prepared me for this new chapter. Acting didn't feel like starting over, it felt like coming home. I discovered that everything I had done before, nursing, motherhood, leadership, cosmetology, had trained me for storytelling. I understood human emotion not for theory, but from lived experience. I knew how to listen, how to respond, how to be fully present. I wasn't chasing fame. I was answering a call that had waited patiently for me to be ready. Being signed to an agency was a moment of quiet validation, not because it meant that I had made it, but because it proved that it was never too late to be taken seriously, to be seen, to begin again. I'm building something new now, not in spite of my age, but because of it. Today, I stand as a woman who has worn many titles: mother, nurse, leader, mentor, beautician, artist, actor. None of them cancel the other, they coexist, strengthening one another. My story is not about perfection, it is about perseverance. It is about choosing growth over fear and possibility over limitation. I am still becoming. And for the first time, I'm doing it fully, unapologetically, and with gratitude for every chapter that brought me here. Beautiful. Wow, Barbara. So, so beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. You said so many great things. First off, hearing your essay read out loud, how do you feel right now?
I'm surprised I wrote that. It's all true though. Like, but you want to know what started off my acting thing?
Yeah, what started you there?
That I was on The Price is Right and I won the Showcase Showdown. I
Wow.
know.
Okay, we love
And
that.
I had a lot of fun being on camera. And so I've always wanted to do acting. So that was, I just decided that I can do everything,
Yeah.
you know.
I, I love
And,
that. That's
actually, I've been working where I work for 20, 26 years, and I can retire next year, and I probably will, and go find another nursing job, but collect my pension. And I'm definitely pursuing like modeling and acting jobs too. Um, but I'm lucky. I can do a lot of different things. You know, I do hair. I do nursing. I'm a mom, a grandma, dog owner.
I love that. I want to start from your early responsibility before you got into this world. Multiple lifetimes in one body from all the careers you've had, like you said, mom, doctor, nurse.
It started like on this day 40 years ago. This is my son's 40th birthday. So
Wow.
yeah. So when I had my son, I realized I could do anything. I mean, I didn't start out like saying, "Oh, I'm going to keep getting more and more and more stuff," but just with being, I got married after I had him and had my daughter, and like he he drank a lot and we just went our separate ways, and it was necessary for me as a single parent to provide an income for our family, um
Mm.
and I got lucky all along the way. I got into a LPN program. Well, before that, I got my cosmetology degree, so I always had another little job that was boosting me up to my next one. So
Yeah.
like I worked as a barber and on a barber shop as I was going to LPN school. I got my LPN, then I kept going and got my RN. And like I've done that for so many years. And just I think all the different education things that I've done all along the way have like built well onto each other. And I feel like
Yeah.
they complement each other. All of them do.
That's what it sounds like. Responsibility didn't break you, it built you. It led you
Oh
from
yeah.
one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And it
Yep.
seemed like you used it as stepping stones,
I
where
did.
people would have saw like heartbreak and the divorce, maybe wasn't as favorable or it wasn't what you wanted at the time, but it was what was necessary in order to
Right.
maintain your mental health as well as your children's. And then that led you to something else. You were able to have that side job. I
Yep.
think that so many people are listening today and they're probably wondering, like, well, how am I gonna get here? This is the big goal. This is the big dream. And like you said, you got your LPN that led to your RN. And it's
Yep.
those stepping stones that keep the momentum alive. Do you feel like that was it for you?
Yeah, everything that I've ever done, I have to say go back to my kids, to providing a good future for my kids, and both my kids have turned out to be great people. My son is a computer engineer, and my daughter is a ward secretary at the ER where I work. So I work with her frequently. They are the ones I wouldn't have been as motivated, like, if I didn't have my kids, I wouldn't be as motivated to keep building us a future. And I'm remarried now. We've been married for 26 years, and he's a really good
Oh,
stepdad for my kids. So that's good. Yeah. I'm lucky.
I
Lucky
love
in
that.
love the second
Oh, you
time.
are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
But
congratulations.
the
I'm
kids
so
are
proud of you.
the kids are the whole reason I did everything. And, like, coming from the small town that I came from, I don't know if you're familiar with how small towns are, but a lot of gossip, a lot of people
Hmm.
that are not always so nice behind your back. And I just felt like
Yeah.
I always had to prove myself. And, like, I had my son when I was a senior in high school, and
Oh, wow.
I wasn't going to have that be the reason that I didn't achieve whatever I wanted to achieve. It just made having my kids made me more motivated than less. I mean, it, yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It feels like motherhood didn't shrink your dreams. It sharpened them. It
it
motivated
did.
them. It ignited the fire. And,
Yep.
I think that it's not like the most favorable situation to have a kid during high school, but you didn't let it stop you. And
No.
I think that that's a testament of his own. I think there's probably some young mothers out there. Like my mom also was pregnant with me her senior year in high school as well. And to just
Yep.
see like what type of fire and drive that it gives you. You're leaving childhood, entering adulthood and motherhood at the
Yep.
same time. And I want to applaud you for that because
Oh, thank
I
you.
think that could be so difficult, but you kept going and you didn't let go of your dreams. How did you feel like becoming a mother changed your ambition?
I mean, I was scared to fail because I didn't want my kids to fail. I didn't feel like my kids should have to pay the price for me. Like, they shouldn't have to have a decreased standard of living or whatever, like a decreased standard of living just because they were born to somebody who wasn't educated yet and was younger than I shouldn't have had a baby when I was 18, but I wasn't going to let that impact their lives. They didn't they grew up not um having to be a product of, like, just somebody who, like, I felt like I had to keep
Yeah,
going. I had to have I had to do everything I had to do because what else would I do? How else would I survive with them, and wanting them to have the best, it motivated me.
yeah, I love that. I think that's so beautiful. What was that transition like for you when you got into nursing? Because I find it so beautiful that you did that because you said like you held hands with basically fear and grief at the same time. And to me, that's very
Mhm.
sacred work. And it takes a very special, warm kind of person to get into a career that is so selfless. What was that career option for you that decided that nursing was the right thing for you? What made you want to get your LPN that led to your RN?
Um, there was a opening for a satellite program. I'm from North Dakota, and there was a satellite program. It was a brand new program where you could do distance learning. It was Now it's all the thing, but I mean, back then it was like the first that anybody had ever done that up there. And
Yeah.
I got into the program. My mom had gotten into a program like that, and so she encouraged me to apply. And I was, even through high school, I was a nursing assistant at the nursing home. So I've always liked taking care of people. I mean,
Yeah.
and my sister is 12 years younger than me, so I've always like taken care of younger people in my life, or like at the nursing home working. Like, ever since I was old enough to work, I worked, and
Yeah.
like my dad, when I got pregnant with my son, he wouldn't talk to me for about 6 months because he was so ashamed. And he said he was just, talking to a friend one night about how hard of a worker I was, and then he found this out. That really made me feel bad, like, I'm still the same person, but I just really disappointed him. Kinda some of it was to try to fix that disappointment in him,
Yeah, you're trying to
you
get
know?
acceptance.
Mhm. Yep, yep, so
When in talking about that, when your dad was disappointed at that moment, when did you feel like he finally accepted you, or the fact that, like, you were gonna have his grandbaby regardless if he liked it or not? Like,
yeah.
this was it.
As I got, like, almost to the do like, towards the end of the pregnancy, he really came around, and he was a over the road truck driver, and he was there when my son was born, and, of course, he is, like, the apple of his eye, he just loved him,
Yeah.
and my mom and dad are both passed now, but, the
Oh,
they they were their only grandkids, until my sister she had 2 kids, but that was after my mom had passed. My dad was he only got one of her kids when she
oh,
was, like, a baby. So my kids were the grandkids of the family for a long time. Um,
yeah.
like, my son would go truck driving with my dad every summer. They were really good friends, good buddies. And so, like, it wasn't long after I had my son that I had my dad back, he
Oh,
w
yeah.
he got better.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I would love to know, like, what do you feel like nursing taught you about humanity? I think, like Hippocrates said, wherever the art of medicine is loved, there's also the love of humanity. And I think that obviously, like, you've always loved people, you always cared for your child
Yeah.
and children. And we were just talking briefly before this podcast about, you caring for ICU patients. What do you feel like most people don't understand when a person is, like, at that lowest point, maybe for the patient and then also maybe as a nurse's perspective?
I feel like, sometimes some of my nursing colleagues can be kind of judgmental to people, like, they come in and they're very unkempt, maybe big beards, like, not taking care of themselves, teeth
Mhm.
missing, but those people are still people inside, and so, like, I always try to, treat each person like an individual and not just as the shell of what they show on the outside, because 'cause they're
Yeah,
still the person on the inside, and I like to get through the layers of stuff and find the person on the inside. I just I love that. I love getting to know people and, like, even, like, my coworkers, like, the other day, I was just saying to my coworker, we were talking about somebody, I said, "Oh, I just love them. I just love them." And then it wasn't that much longer later, and I said, "Oh, I love her. She's just awesome." She said, "Do
aw.
you love everybody?" And I think I do. I think I do love everybody.
That's so beautiful. That's so
Yeah.
sweet and so warm, and I'm so thankful that we have a nurse like you on our
Aw,
side. And
thank you.
these patients, because I think it's that you mentioned in your essay, it's like such a vulnerable place to be in when you have to go to the hospital or you have to go to the doctor and you
Mhm.
don't want to be there. And I think the
No.
last thing you want to be met with is judgment. And I appreciate you for, like, making it a judgment free, lovable zone. And I think,
Yep,
like, there has to be some love because, like, this a person's life is on the line. And
exactly.
and also at the end of the day, like, I think this world is such a lonely place, and it's
It is.
such a really, it's just a lonely place, and
It really
people
is.
don't really receive care and love, not even
Yep.
from their family members or
Right.
close friends. And the older they grow, the more they're left alone, and the more that builds up on them, and they're already in, like, a dark spot of life. And I think, like, even if they had to come to the hospital to get light, or to find relief or find some joy, if that's, of course, in the healing of it, but more even if it's in the people of it. And
Yeah.
I'm so happy they have you.
I think well, that's sweet, thank you. I think, some people do like to be in the hospital. They do like the care that they get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they kinda like the attention, sorta. Um,
Yeah.
my husband is he's a maintenance man at a 55 plus apartment,
Yeah.
and, um, he's actually 12 years older than me, so he's 70, so he's kinda in the
Wow.
he goes and has coffee with his friends every morning, and, we get really attached to the people that live there, like, when my Price is Right show was on, we had a watch party at that place, and a lot of those people are lonely, and my husband is just wonderful. He One of them is on hospice right now, and he's been bringing them food every day. You just gotta reach out to your community and try to help as many people as you can,
Yeah,
whether
you
it's
do.
at work or whether it's at in your community, you know?
Yeah. That's so beautiful. Oh, I'm so happy that your husband and you are like a match made for sure, and
Yeah.
for you all just to have these beautiful, warm hearts. And I hope that it truly inspires
Oh,
someone that's listening today.
thank
Um,
you so much.
yeah, absolutely. I love that you mentioned in your essay that dreams don't die, they wait. And
Mhm.
I feel like, so many people need to hear that. Like starting over at 57, you said, I'm not starting over, I'm beginning new. I'm coming home to what
Well,
has been
yeah,
waiting for me, this
'cause
creativity.
all this time I've had to be so serious and like, I do keep getting certifications at my work, like, I study and take more certifications to
Mhm.
be prove my skills and stuff, but I've always wanted to do this side of my the acting side, and I just never could really, but now
Yeah,
is the time in my life I can, and, um,
yeah.
I'm just gonna go for it.
Did you ever feel like you had to bury that creative side of you?
Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have time for that or, and like I even told my husband the other day, like, I don't like I'm 58. I just turned 58 and I don't feel
And
like,
looking amazing.
oh, thank
Hi.
you. Thank you. Um, so like I don't feel like, "Oh my god, I'm getting so old, I don't wanna get older." Like, I look forward to 59 is gonna be cool because then I can start taking money out of my 401 and, like,
Yes.
I feel like every little step, even, like, just even getting older is just exciting because there's always you don't have to stop dreaming just because you're a certain age. Like,
Yes.
I feel like they still need older people too in everything, you know?
Absolutely. Yes, they do. And I love that. I think so many people are so afraid of getting older and it
No,
frustrates
it's
me. I'm
fun.
like, like can you imagine like we unfortunately like people die every day and death is inevitable and we get
Yep,
to be 6 feet above ground and it's
yep,
beautiful over here. And I'm not saying that, you
yep.
know, death is not beautiful because it has its own
Yes,
identity as well. But I'm saying, like, while you're here and you're able to go
yes,
after and chase these dreams and find joy, that
right.
to roll in that. And I'm so happy that you said, yeah, like, girl, draw that money out of your
I know,
401k,
I know.
IRA, all of that stuff when you get older. I think also so many people don't take advantage of that. They're like, oh, I'm gonna do it at 65, I'm gonna do it at 70. No, like go live your
Yeah.
life, have fun. Like
Yeah, my husband is
I
like he's scared, I think, because like, I like money and I have a
yeah.
bunch of K money. I'm like, "Boy, that's gonna be dangerous, really." No,
No, go
I have
travel the
other
world.
plans.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I love that you didn't I wanna I think somebody might be listening right now and saying like, "Okay, see, they might be in their 30s or they might be in their 40s and they might hear and like, well, she didn't start until she was 57. Then do I need to take on a serious career first and then like put my dreams on the back burner
Mm-mm.
and then do it? Or what would you say to that person that a person that might be a little younger? Do you think that they can simultaneously do it at the same time or do you think they should go all in? Because maybe they have responsibility, maybe they have children or they're caring
Right.
for a parent. What do you feel about that?
I feel like God only gives you what you can handle, and, like, I don't think you have to wait for one thing than the other. I think you can do simultaneously 2 different or more than one different thing. It's just that you have to be a solid, smooth person for your kids. Always do that. Always be whatever you need to do to be your solid, smooth person for your kids when they're growing up. And then when they're done, when they've grown up, I mean, they still need you. They still need stuff, but then you can kind of branch off a little bit, you know? But I don't think just because you're 30 and you haven't done this or that, I mean, that shouldn't hold you back. I don't think age is a thing that should hold you back ever at all, period.
Yes. I love that. I feel like
Mhm.
age isn't a limitation, it's
Yeah,
leverage. Like,
it
and
is.
with more experience, like you mentioned, as you got into acting, you came with more experience than the
Yep,
younger people. And that lived experience definitely helps drive the story and moves it forward and gives more context. I would
yep.
love to talk about that. What did it feel like walking into your first acting class?
No, it was scary, very scary. Cause like, I mean, I'm 58, and the next youngest person was I think he's, like, 24. And they're all younger from there, and it was intimidating because, like, well, each week you learn a different thing. Like we learn about commercials, or how to present a commercial, and monologues, and all the different there's so many different things like improvisation, and it's very intimidating to get up in front of a whole group of people and say your commercial, and feel at ease about it. And I still feel nervous even though I know the people in the class. um,
Yeah.
and actually, I just went to Hollywood about a month ago and did a audition, like, for agents, and it was a contest, a acting contest, and I got
Yes.
honorable mention for my acting in a commercial and for my headshots. And so
Yay,
it's never too late.
congratulations.
See, nothing is too late. It's scary to do that first step, but once you do the first step, you've got it.
Yes. Once you do the first step, yeah, you got it. I
Mhm.
love that.
Yep.
Yeah, you just gotta take the first step. I always say
Yep.
one day or day one. Like today could be
Yep.
day one, tomorrow could be day two. And if you keep
Totally.
making steps, you'll be on day 100 before you know it. But unless you
Right.
make that first step or you make that first move, it's never gonna happen. If
Right.
you just say one day I'll do it, or if you
Well,
let fear swallow you.
I also, like, I like to do a lot of creative things. I do a cricket, if you've ever heard of cricket,
Yes.
for um, and then, like, I got a sewing machine a couple years ago during COVID, but I
Yes.
didn't know how to thread it, and I would just sit here and just almost cry because I was, like, telling my husband, "I don't know what to do. I wanna sew so bad, but I don't know." I finally got somebody to show me, and now I've got like a $1,000 embroidery machine, and I just did a quilt for my friend with, her mom passed away. So I did her t-shirts into a quilt. And sewing can be frustrating too. Everything can be frustrating that you're learning that's new. But just because you're a certain age doesn't mean you can't learn. And even if you make a mistake, you just back it up and do it over again. I mean, like, if you're in nursing school and you fail a test, or if you're I don't know, if you're cutting somebody's hair and you didn't do that great a job and somebody has to cut it over again for you, or, they come back in and complain. So you back it up and do it again. You just keep on trying.
Yeah, you don't
That's
give up just because you
you
made a
don't
mistake.
right,
You
right.
check,
Because
learn,
mistakes are inevitable.
adjust. Yes, mistakes are inevitable. I agree with
So, like, it's never too late for you to begin again, kind of,
you. Yes,
I
absolutely.
think.
Yeah, never too late to begin again. But you also mentioned like signing with the agency, and you said, like, what did you feel like it represented for you? I think that so many people are so excited when they sign with agencies, but we know it's not your gold ticket to Hollywood per
It
se, but
isn't.
it's like your entry fee. Like
It
you do get
is,
more
and
access.
when I went to that contest in Hollywood, I got an agent in LA and an agent in Atlanta, and I have one here in Minneapolis, and I have an interview with one in New York coming up here. And I'm getting more audition requests than I can even handle. I wish I had more time to, like, because my husband is bad at reading lines with me, and so I have to wait for my daughter or somebody to do that with me
Yeah, you know
because
what? I'm gonna
it's so
recommend
hard.
you. There's this amazing, amazing platform called We Audition, WeAudition. I'll send it to you after this, and I have a
Yeah,
code
can
for
you
We.
email that to me? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I
we
need that
auditioned.
because it's so hard and I can't like there's so many little parts I'd like to really try to pursue and it's frustrating because I don't have time to do all of it, but
Yeah.
part of it is
And
because I don't have anybody to read with me.
yeah, we auditioned there. You'll have a reader in a matter of seconds, as well
Wow.
as if you use the app and you need to look off the lines, they'll put you can do it a scroll feature where you can see the lines
Oh, wow. Because
on the screen.
that's another thing that's so hard too is, like, I get all these cool scripts, but, like, it's hard to really memorize all of them to do, like,
Yeah,
on
the
a self-tape.
audition. I
It's so
understand.
hard, so hard, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to wing my way through it.
I love that. Well, you're gonna
Yeah,
do it.
I will,
You'll do
yeah.
it.
Yeah, we'll
Um,
be TV stars together.
we will.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And look, you might even be playing something that you've already done before. The way that
Yeah,
you are already in the nursing field, there's so many doctor shows and
yeah,
a lot of opportunities in the medical field.
the show The Pit
Yeah.
and the mayor of Kingstown.
Yes.
Um, I've been trying to get a role with, like background or whatever, and a lady reached out to me and asked me if I would be willing to think about being a medical consultant for one of those shows. So that was
Yes,
pretty
that's
cool. Yeah.
great.
So
That's
that was
exactly
cool. But
yeah,
one thing leads to another.
100%.
So,
And that's what people need to understand, especially in this industry or any industry, is that
mhm.
one thing does lead to another. Taking that
Yep.
opportunity can very well put you right there on set where you have an opportunity to say something to the producer or the director and say, if you're ever looking for a nurse, a few
Exactly.
lines that knows terminology, I'm right
Right.
here. And
Yep.
yeah, as we wrap up, we talk about becoming a lot on this episode. What do you feel like right now in your life? What are you still becoming?
I mean, I feel like I'm always becoming a nurse. Like, and I kind of like shot myself in the foot. I left a job I kind of liked. I was mentoring young nurses on the med surge floor, and now I'm on the float team. So I go to a different place all the time.
Uh,
So every time I go, I kind of have to adapt to that unit's. There's certain personalities of every unit of the nurses that work there. So you kind of
right.
gotta always keep becoming like to fit into that. Um, and I mean, this acting thing is really I got a lot to learn. I'm really
Yeah,
learning a lot. So
I love
I'm
that.
working on becoming that all the time too.
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
And
Your life is proof. Oh, go ahead.
I'm
Sorry.
probably not even making sense anymore because I'm tired.
No, you're fine. You're doing just great. And I think that your life is definitely proof that evolution has no expiration date, that you can always continue to get better. You can always continue to get more credentials.
Yep.
You can always continue to evolve. And if that's
Right.
taking on a new dream that you wanted to do at 57, or if that's like doubling down on the career that you currently have because you love it so much as well, like whatever that is for you, that as life continues to evolve, you do too, as long as you accept it and
Yeah.
you decide to put one foot in front of the next.
Yep.
I always say that resilience is repetition. Every day you'll find something to be more resilient on. And you can always have joy in that moment of resiliency. Resiliency doesn't have to be hard, it doesn't
I
have to
think.
be tough.
Mhm.
As we begin to wrap up this episode, I always ask everyone, what would you tell your younger self right now? Like younger Barbara, what would you tell her?
I would tell her, "Look at me. Look what we did. Look what there's gonna be scary times ahead, um, but you're gonna come through it okay. You're gonna do well, and don't doubt yourself, um, and failure is just another I feel like a failure on one thing is just another branch to grow off in, I mean, I don't feel like failure is ever a lost lesson. It's just another way to go. You just figure out another way to go. I would tell my younger self, just strap in. Been a bumpy ride, but you'll get there.
Yeah, I love that. Well, you all heard it. It's never too late to become, and don't let failure stop you. Let it lean you in, straighten you up, and have you
Yep.
stand stronger on more higher steps that tried to take you
Yes.
down. You got
Right.
this. I'm Carrie
Yep.
Bernuns. This has been so wonderful here at the Resilient Spouse Podcast. If you feel like this episode motivated you, inspired you, if you know someone who feels like they want to just give up on their dreams, that they are tired, exhausted, that they don't even see it anywhere in sight, send them this episode. Let them know
And
it's never
yeah,
too late. They
they
got
can
this.
contact me anytime too. I would love to have people contact me. I would love it.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, Barbara, how do people get in contact with you?
Um, um, my, I'm, I think, I think I'm at, Blum67 for my Instagram. Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has been
Thank
so
you.
great.